From Studio K at Foxboro Cable Access.
Saffron is essentially the stamen of a rose.
Feeling creative?
Sage has a great flavor.
Is your palate needing a new challenge? Well, let's cook with Mike Damasio.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Cook with Mike. I'm your host, Mike Damasio, and once again we have another great show for you today. So today we're going to take you to a backyard summer barbecue. We're going to do a few side salads for you, and we're also going to do a specific kind of hot dog for a barbecue. This is called a Chicago style hot dog. A lot of cool ingredients that we'll go over. They say they call it kind of a drag through the garden hot dog because of all the ingredients that are on it. So I say we turn Studio K here into a summer backyard barbecue. All right, so we're in our backyard now, and we're feeling the vibe of the backyard barbecue. Got into my, magically appeared in my Hawaiian shirt here, and I'm ready to get going. So what we're going to do first, as we always do here in Studio K, we're going to start with our the item that's going to take the longest to cook. So we're going to start with our Mexican street corn salad. We are going to boil off these beautiful local ears of corn here in our boiling water that I pre-started so we didn't have to watch water boil during our show. We could have done a hour episode of water boiling. Once it's done boiling, we are going to put it on our induction grill over here as well to give it some char, and which will also give it a little smoky flavor for the salad, add a little depth into the flavor rather than just some plain old corn salad, right? We like to jazz things up here in Studio K. All right. So while this is going to be our first salad, the Mexican street corn, delicious. Now we're going to start with our rainbow tomato and cucumber salad. It's going to be very beautiful in the end. We have these beautiful tri-colored cherry tomatoes. We're going to have those. We're going to peel and dice this to try to get it the same size as the tomatoes so that you can eat everything in one bite. We're also going to small dice up some of this shallot, and we're going to finish it with cilantro and some salt and pepper and a delicious vinaigrette dressing. Okay, so let's start with our prep. So this is going to take a little bit of time here. We're just going to dice all of our cherry tomatoes. Now there's a nice, easy, quick way to do this, which I will do so we can save some time here in Studio K, and I'll give you a little trick. I think I've done it on a show when doing some of my Italian dishes. You take these cherry tomatoes. Now you can use the top of like a large jar lid, or any kind of flat surface. If you don't trust your hand being there, and just cut across in half. And this will speed up the whole process of cutting our cherry tomatoes, so we're not doing one at a time. But please, I'm a trained professional. Try this at home though. If you have a cut glove, you can buy a nice cut glove that'll protect you from cuts. They don't protect you from stabs, right? You can be stabbed with a cut glove on. All it does, it will prevent you from being cut that way. No stabby. All right, so we're going to get about 2 cups of these cherry tomatoes in here. But you can see how beautiful it's going to be, the variety of colors here that are just going to pop with the dressing. It's all going to come together. Really delicious. So now we're going to peel our cucumber. Nothing but the best equipment here at Studio K. High tech. We do what we can. Beautiful. And again, another fresh local cucumber. Ooh, there we go. We're just striping our cucumber here, and now I'm gonna cut it in half, and I'm gonna take out all of our seeds here, and then I'm gonna quarter it. Again, we want these pieces to be just about the same size as these cherry tomatoes. We're getting a good little compost pile here today. So we want to just get a little spoon here and scoop out those seeds. It's just a texture thing, right? We don't really need them. As you can see, I'm using an ice cream scoop here. Tools are very versatile in the kitchen. All right, now we're going to quarter this. And again, we're going to try to get it to the same shape, same size for its same bite-sized pieces as the cherry tomatoes. And I think that's about pretty good, right? I'm going to go in there pretty good. Mix together nicely. Now again, today we're not going to be using many of the induction cookers here in Studio K. We are preparing nice cold salads, and then in the end our hot dog will be about the only thing we'll be cooking up today, other than the corn here, which is cooking up nice. We're not going to put that. Typically you want to cook corn if you were doing straight from the water to eating it, probably about 12 minutes in some boiling water. But we're going to go just another few minutes here, get it just tender enough, and we're going to finish it on our griddle. So I'm going to start up our griddle, get this baby nice and hot so we can make that happen. And I'm going to dice up this delicious shallot. Again, adding another color to our rainbow salad. A nice purple. Ooh. All right. So here you go. So the summertime is definitely my favorite time of the year here. Being outdoors, being active, just having a good time with your friends. You know, there's festivals and music and street fairs. Just keeps you busy, keeps you active. Really makes me confused why people enjoy winter time, I guess, other than hurling themselves down a mountain. So here we go. We're dicing this up. Adding a nice color. We're going to break these up just a little bit. Again, we want to just separate this stuff out. Now we're going to make our dressing that comes with this. All right, and this is a very simple dressing. Just a simple vinaigrette. You know, nice and delicate. Again, you want to use the flavor of all these delicious vegetables, and we're going to be finishing it off with the cilantro as well. But all these delicious flavors, all by themselves, are, you know, really good enough. So I'm going to do a little cider vinegar dressing. All right, it's basically equal parts of oil and vinegar, and I'm going to make just about a half a cup of each. So we're going to do a half a cup of the cider vinegar. Ooh. And we won't be using all this dressing, but you can make this dressing and you can save the rest of it. Use it for a variety of salads throughout your in your kitchen. Anything you want to use it for. Again, it's very nice and light. It can be used at any time. So 50-50. Got a nice little mixture there. Now, sometimes if I'm at home and I have my immersion blender, I might emulsify this a little bit, make it a little more airy and bubbly. But here, we're just going to keep it this way. We're going to add some pepper. A little salt. Delicious kosher salt in our grinder. It's a very simple dressing right here. Okay. And I'm going to add a little bit of our lime juice. Just add a little more acidity to it. Just about a teaspoon. And a dash of celery salt, which will mix well with our Chicago dog, because this is the last and final ingredient of the Chicago dog. All right. So again, a very simple dressing, really nice, really light for the summertime. And we're going to just pour this a little bit right onto our salad. And then I'm going to add the cilantro as the last bit here. Again, I'm going to take part of this cilantro, kind of eyeing out about as much as I need. There really isn't a specific amount that you can use. It's all to flavor and how much you like. Some people don't like the cilantro. You can also substitute the cilantro here with basil. So if you had some basil, which we have a beautiful basil plant here that I could have stole from, but we're going to use the cilantro today. I think it just goes a little better with our meal because we are doing the Mexican corn, which is also going to have some cilantro. So you can see all of our flavors are going to kind of cross over to each dish. And that's what makes a perfectly rounded meal. And your guests won't even know it, but you'll know it, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what the guests know. They're just going to know everything tastes delicious. They're going to say, "Where'd you learn how to do that?" And you're going to say, "Studio K. Some crazy guy on television, that's it." All right, mixing this up. And we're just going to set this aside now. And this is going to look beautiful on our plate for our final project. All right, so there is dish number one. A rainbow tomato and cucumber salad. Now we're going to come back to this at the end when it's all plated up and looking beautiful. So we're just going to let this, and the more this marinates as well, you could do this, a few hours in advance. Let these tomatoes and cucumbers marinate in this delicious dressing, and the longer it goes, the better, the more flavor you're going to get out of this dish. So we're just going to set this aside here. Now we're going to come back to our Mexican street corn, and I think we have our sear happening over here. Always have to check the equipment in Studio K, make sure what's going on, but we are in good shape here. Our corn is looking delicious inside the boiling water, so we're going to get that, and we're going to transfer that from the boiling water to the grill. I'm going to put a little of our softened butter here on each little ear of corn so we can get some nice char, as good of a char as we can get on our indoor grill here. But remember, we're pretending we're outside. Sun's shining. I can see it. It's out there. All right, so I'm going to take this corn out. I can turn this off. Ooh. Just going to let it dry a little bit in this pan while our sear pan gets just a little more heat under it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Chicago dog here. The Chicago dog, so Frankfurters came to Chicago via Germany, Frankfurt, Germany, and Vienna. So the first hot dog that actually made it to Chicago was a Vienna hot dog. And that's kind of the traditional hot dog you would use for a Chicago dog. I searched far and wide over the last few days for a Vienna hot dog. Couldn't find it. So I have a delicious, but the most important part is that they are a beef hot dog. So these are all beef Franks, local KM products. So delicious dog nonetheless. But really what makes the Chicago hot dog are the toppings. And they're very specific with how you layer the toppings. And we'll go over that a little later. As our grill gets nice and warm here, I'm going to start our Mexican corn salad dressing. That's our next step. So I'm going to get another bowl here, and this is fairly simple. Again, a very easy dressing to make. Just a few ingredients. We have our corn, which is obviously going to be the final thing, but for the dressing, you have some nice cotija cheese. You can find it in any supermarket. Very easy to find. It's a soft Spanish Mexican cheese that's used in many dishes. It's usually traditional with any fajita or taco that you use. I know here we use cheddar, but this is the traditional cheese for most Mexican dishes that you would get. Obviously our mayonnaise, I chose Mike's Amazing. It's not named after me, but could be. We're going to be using some lime juice, some softened butter, and some chili powder just to give it a little bit of a bite. So let's get that rocking. We're going to do a quarter cup of mayonnaise. We're going to make a small dressing here. So we're going to measure this out here. Don't be afraid to use measuring tools. I've been doing this a long time and I still do. If you want things to be right and consistent time and time again, every time you make it, you need to use the same measurements every time that you make it, right? So that way when people say, that was delicious, and then the next time you make it, if you change it up or do a little less of this or a little more of that, people aren't going to have the same reaction. And we want everybody to like our food. All right, now we're going to, oops, forgot to grab it. I'm going to grab a grater, which is right here. Perfect. And once again, we're going to do about a quarter cup of this. And this breaks very easily. It's very crumbly. It kind of has the texture and feel of a feta cheese, if you had to compare it to something. But the flavor is much different. It is not as sharp as a feta cheese. It's much easier to eat in greater quantity than a feta cheese, which I think can be sharp. But we're going to get another quarter cup of this. There's never a problem with too much cheese, though. So if we go a little over, who's counting? All right, we're going to add that. Okay. Looks like an even amount compared to the mayonnaise. And then we're going to add about a lime juice. Oop, here we go. We're going to add about a 1/8 of a cup of the lime juice. So we're just going to do half of this, quarter cup. One for good luck. And we have a little bit of our softened butter we're going to add in there. And I'm going to put a little bit of our chili powder. We're just going to do a dash of that. The more you like heat, the more you can add. I don't mind a little bit of heat in here, so I'm adding it all up. So this is going to be what we're going to end up rolling our corn in, and you'll see how that works in just a minute. We're going to get our softened butter in here, and this is just a few tablespoons. Just crumble it up, get it in there. You'll see how this all comes together in a little bit. All right, so now we're going to get our corn. We're going to put a little bit of butter on the corn, and we're going to put this on the griddle. We're going to get some great grill marks here. All right. The sun's beating down on us here in Studio K in our backyard barbecue. Forgot my SPF 1 million to keep me safe from the horrible sun rays. I'll take my chances. All right. So there we have our corn a-grillin' right beside us here. We have our mayonnaise mixture that we are going to add that to the salad. Once we grill this corn to our liking, we are going to take the corn off of the cob, the kernels off of the cob, and we're going to mix it in with some of this dressing. It shouldn't be all of it, and it'll be a nice dressing, nice salad to have with the rest of our meal. All right. This could end up being an extended version of Let's Cook with Mike today, because we have a lot of things going on here, and we need a lot of time. As you can see, we're getting, this is like outdoor grilling here. Look at that char. Get a good steak on here, get some diamond marks. All right, so what I'm going to do now, since we have some time, is I'm going to start some of the prep for our Chicago dog. I'm going to use the same water that we used for the corn for our hot dog water, because why not? It's just going to add some flavor. It's just corn water, right? We'll get some nice corn flavor on the hot dog. As we cook them in there, they're only going to be in there for a few minutes. It'll be a great addition. I'm just going to finish off my salad with, I'm going to cut up some cilantro for this Mexican street corn salad, but I'm only going to use half of it now, and then I'm going to use half of it as a garnish afterwards. All right, so I'm going to rough chop this. I'm not going to really go super duper fine on this. Again, I like cilantro. A lot of people don't. Some people say it tastes like grass or dirt or just something bad. And from what I found out, now this I'm not a scientist, but I heard that people who don't like cilantro are actually in the majority, which is surprising. with it. It's because it's so used in Spanish and Mexican cuisine that, you know, and that's a big population of our planet. So you would think that more people would like cilantro than not, but unfortunately, more people don't like it. All right. So we're just going to blend this in here with our corn salad. It's great. I mean, you're going to see all of our colors when we put our plate together, right? That's a big part of Let's Cook with Mike here. The plate has to look pretty, even without trying. And we're going to make it look beautiful today because we're going to have all these bright colors. We have these beautiful red, green, purple, colors here. We're going to have a bright yellowy color here. And then when you see our hot dog, our finished product on the hot dog, it is just loaded with a bunch of colors and flavors. It's going to be delicious. All right. We're going to just keep this going. I'm going to take 2 minutes just to kind of refresh my board here, okay? All right, so we're at the point where our corn is grilling nicely, and we're ready to, I'm going to take that off shortly. But we're going to start making our relish for the Chicago dog. Now, the Chicago dog has specific ingredients that go on it, and they have to go on in a certain way. So, the layers goes as such. The first thing, which is one of the most important parts, they say, is the poppy seed bun. So, you have to use a poppy seed bun with a Chicago dog. Then, you put the hot dog in the bun. First thing you put on it is yellow mustard. The next thing you put on is neon green relish, and that's what we're going to make next. Then you put on some chopped white onion, some tomato wedges, a pickle spear, and then some sport peppers, which are right here. And they go on whole. And we're going to grill these as well. Once that corn comes off, we're going to mark these on the grill as well. But right now we're going to make our relish, and we're going to make a real simple relish. Forgot to grab my bowl. And since we don't need too much, I'm only going to make about that much. This is going to be a very simple relish. I'm sure everybody has a great recipe out there for relish, but we're going to make this very simple one because the hot dog is full of flavor. And all we're doing here is just going to make a condiment enough for, how many staff we got here today, Deb? We got 7, 8 today. We got to make 8 hot dogs today. That's all we pay them with is food. We have to make sure they eat. So I'm just going to small dice this up, this pickles here, right? So we're going to be using these as part of our pickle for the hot dog as well. But this is going to be the base for our relish as well. So I'm just going to rough chop this. Get it into small pieces. But it doesn't have to be too small. A nice artisanal relish, we'll call it. But you say, what is neon relish? Oh, wait till you see what neon relish is. And I'll tell you, once we get rocking with that, I'll tell you why they did this. So, this is the last ingredient. We're going to do this. We're going to do some salt and pepper, a little bit of the cider vinegar. And our relish is going to be done. This is a nice, simple relish. I don't even need too much onion here today. All right, very simple. Trying to just be a little bit, proportionate. We don't want too much onion in here. Although there's nothing wrong with too much onion on a hot dog. So we have these nice small dice. That's a good proportion here. Dash of the cider vinegar. Again, as you can see, we are crossing over our flavors. Some celery salt. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. Salt, pepper. And salt. Don't need too much salt with pickles. There's a lot in the brine already. I'm going to mix this up. Very simple pickle relish for our Chicago dog. What makes it neon, you say? And why do they have it neon? What makes it neon is blue food dye. Why did they use blue food dye? So when they first invented this Chicago hot dog, they were putting it on a pitcher, and the colors as bright and as beautiful as they were with all, you can see all the colors that are going to end up on this hot dog, the relish wasn't standing out. And they said, how can we make the relish stand out? They took a few drops of blue food dye and made their neon green relish. And that's how they made, and why they made, the neon green relish. Interesting fact, there are more hot dog stands in Chicago, and by stands that can be a streetcar or it could be a restaurant. They put the stands in air quotes when they say hot dog stand. More hot dog stands than McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King's combined. Holy moly. That's a lot of hot dog stands. All right, we're ready with this corn. I'm going to take this corn off here, and then we're going to chill it. We got as great as char we're going to get here in our time allotted at Studio K. And I'm going to put our sport peppers on there as well. We're just going to get these to char just a little bit. Again, these are the last thing that go on the Chicago hot dog. So take it from there. All right, so I'm going to get another bowl so that we can start to clean our corn here. So I'm just going to make these smaller so they're easy to work with. And I'm just going to clean all these corn cobs here. Now, another way of eating street corn is on the cob, right? So the traditional way, you could take this dressing right here, spread this stuff right on it, and you have a great street corn side here. And this is how you'd get it if you were, getting it off of a food truck. It would come just like this in a basket, and you'd have your street corn right there. Delicious. I'm going to put this aside because that's good. And then this is what you would do. They top it off with the cotija cheese. They top it off with a little bit of cilantro, and they serve it up deliciously. All right. But for this sake, we're going to make a salad out of this. But that is another application you can use for the street corn. All right. So we're going to continue to just clean our corn here. All right, so we're just going to, these little chars that we got on the corn from our grill are just going to add a little bit of depth to the flavor, right? I mean, if you had a nice, you had a nice gas grill or electric grill that you were using, and you'd get a much better char. You'd get that nice smoky flavor on these corn. It goes really great with the dressing, and it comes together great. It's just the combination of all these colors and flavors that just, if you're eating with your eyes today, you're going to love what we end up with here. I came in saying, I'm not going to make too much of a mess today. This is going to be an easy one, guys. I don't know what I was thinking. But we got another mess. All right. Beautiful. Something happened. The ghosts of Studio K are turning off my oven here, my induction cooker. Start that baby back up again. Thank you. Thank you. All right, one more piece of corn here to clean. Then we're going to add a little bit of our dressing and set that aside. And this doesn't have to be, you don't have to wait to make this cold, right? You can chill the corn down, but this salad served warm, again, delicious, right? I mean, this is how you would get it typically. As I showed you on the cob, it would be nice and warm, and you'd have all these flavors. But here we go. This dressing is going to go right in here. See how much we get. right? So if you had people, a lot of people you were trying to please, and you didn't want to, take all the kernels off of all the cobs, you could make some into a salad and some into, the whole presentation of the whole corn cob. You're gonna get now you have 2 side dishes for the price of 1. All right, but that looks like a plenty good coating of the dressing, right, on our corn. So we can set aside some of our dressing here. But that looks like a great consistency between the corn and the dressing, right? So we're going to take a little bit of our cilantro, the rest of that, to top it off. Again, if we were plating this on, in a bowl and we had it heaping, this would be the last thing we'd do. We'd also top it off with some of our cotija cheese. And we're going to set this aside because now comes the reason we're all here today, our Chicago dog. All right. So we are going to plop these babies right in the water here. They're just going to go in for just a few minutes. And while they're getting boiled, we're going to do the rest of our prep for the rest of the ingredients of our Chicago dog. Some more gloves. Always changing the gloves in the kitchen, right? Go from meal to meal, product to product. But a good advice is buy gloves that fit. Okay. Now we are going to get some of the rest of our ingredients here. First one we'll work on is our half moon of tomatoes slices. Clean off my knife here. Again, we're working vegetables with vegetables. We don't really need to do too much as far as the, sterilizing the knife in between. Again, if we were going from meat to vegetable, absolutely, we'd be cleaning our knives, but we're not causing any harm here by going from cilantro to tomato, right? They're going to be in the same dish anyhow. So we're going to take these, and we're just going to make small wedges out of them. Just going to make enough for a few today, right now, and then when I have to feed the staff, I will cut more for everybody. We'll just do these right here for now. So that's it for this tomato slices. You'll see how that fits in nicely. Get a little bit of a clean in here. Got this nice bright new board for us so you can see my mess much better than you could before. All right. And the next thing is look at that relish, right? The more that sits, you're getting that funky color on there. It's going to be a great finish. Okay. Sports pickles. These suckers are charring deliciously. Look at that. That's beautiful. I'm going to pull that right off. Looks great. I'm just going to cut this end off. These do not get cut up or sliced or anything. They're going to stay right there. I'm going to chop up some onion. So I'm going to take some onion. We're going to make some small dice out of this. All right, nice small dice. All right. Put that aside. Okay. And that's all of the prep for the hot dog. Now, our hot dogs have been boiling for about 2 minutes now. We're going to finish them here on our little griller, but we're getting pretty close. I'll leave that right there. I'm going to grab ourselves one of the buns. I'm going to cut this down in size just a little bit so that it's more size appropriate for our hot dog. Put that aside. And here's what we're going to be doing. Once that first hot dog comes out, it's going to get laid in there, and thank God. Can't forget the yellow mustard. Another cardinal sin with the Chicago hot dog is ketchup. No ketchup on a Chicago hot dog. Okay? It's a rule. You've been warned. Okay, I'm going to take out one of these hot dogs here. I'm going to turn the rest of these off because they're in great shape. Just start pulling them out. We're going to get a little slight char on these. Again, traditional Chicago dog is the boil or the steam. They do allow for the grilling if that's your method of choice, a preferred method of choice. But going right from the water to the bun is the way to go. So we're going to take one right there and we're going to start building. Okay, so it has to go in this order to be a Chicago hot dog. They're very particular in what is considered a Chicago hot dog. First thing is your brand new mustard. Right, Betty? Brand new mustard. Only the best here at Studio K. I mean, you know, we don't use secondhand stuff. Brand new. All right, here we go. We're going to do a beautiful, oh, yeah, beautiful. All right. We got that. Next comes our green relish. Oh, mama pajama. All right. Next comes our chopped white onions. All right. Oh my goodness, right? So you can see it coming, how it's from the garden, right? Now comes the tomato wedges, and these go on one side. And then we do the pickle. That goes on the other side. Again, everything size appropriate here. The last but not least, our sport peppers. I'm going to give us a break here. I'm going to get some of these seeds out because this thing's going to be a little spicy. All right, our sport pepper. And then we top off with a dash of our celery salt. Makes everything better. And guess what? We're ready to plate this puppy. Let's get to it. This is in honor of Neil here for the bees. But we're going to get our beautiful, see our bee plate? We love our bee plate here. Let's make some room. In a good frame. Let me get in a good frame here for this spectacular dish here. So, I'm going to pull off our hot dogs before they get too far. There it is. All right, let's put these back over here for later. But they're charring up nice. Look at those beautiful marks on those hot dogs. Beautiful. Studio K, we got it. Got it going on. All right. Now we're going to take some of our delicious corn salad. Beautiful. Our delicious tomato and cucumber salad. Now, if you think you're leaving this barbecue unhappy, you're going to have words. All right, on my not so clean, quite messy cutting board, I give you an authentic Chicago dog. Look at it. Oh, where are we going for camera? Who's my shot? All right. But there it is. Can we get it on the overhead here? Beautiful. Who wants me? There you go. Beautiful. So you can see we have our delicious peppers. The hot dog's buried under there, under all this delicious product from the garden. The tomatoes, the neon relish, the yellow mustard, the pickle, the beautiful colors on the plate. I mean, if these are the only three things offered at that barbecue, you're going home happy. And the only way to make sure you can be happy is if you take a bite. Tremendous. What a great meal. I mean, I'm looking forward to sharing with the staff. And I think that does it. It's a wrap. Another episode of Let's Cook with Mike in the books. Thanks for coming. Hopefully you can use these recipes, and we'll see you again next time.